Welcome to Talk About Topeka Live, coming to you from the Topeka Performing Arts Center. This segment's brought to you by TPAC. It's our Making Main Street segment, and we've got two incredible guests on our show talking about Momentum 2022. I'm your host, Chris Schultz, on this endeavor into Making Main Street. We have Kayla Bitler. How are you, Kayla?
I'm very well, thank you.
Thanks for being here. And we have Curtis Sneden, both from the Greater Topeka Partnership. And we're here to talk a little bit about Momentum 2022. Now, everybody's been hearing about this thing.
Yes.
And there is a lot of momentum behind this project. Let's give folks the elevator speech about the whole program first.
Yeah, absolutely. So Momentum 2022 is an economic development program. But the really cool thing about Momentum 2022 is it introduces this whole aspect into economic development that really hasn't been there before. And that aspect is quality of life and quality of place. So instead of our strategies focusing only on business attraction, business retention, and business expansion, it's really about how do we make Topeka a more livable and a more attractive community, because the reality of it is that no business is going to come to Topeka unless they have employees in Topeka, right? So it's really all about building up Topeka and making it better.
And through this whole process, as you know, it's been started from the very beginning stages of Momentum 2022, what has the community been saying specifically that they're looking for and what they want?
Oh my gosh, so that is sort of all over the board.
It's a big question.
It is a big question. So a lot of people have really voiced downtown, right? Mm-hmm. Downtowns are sort of the heart of communities, and statistically it's proven that a community with a thriving downtown is more likely to be a successful community, right? Mm-hmm. So there is a lot of emphasis downtown. But it is important to note, though, that the Momentum strategy is really for the whole community. In fact, there's a lot of emphasis on this concept of inclusive prosperity and making sure that this strategy positively affects everybody in Shawnee County, and not just downtown and not just special pockets, but really that all parts of the community are lifted and are improved because the strategy exists.
I think, Kayla, that's one of the things that we're most proud of about our efforts and what this could mean for the future and the community. I mean, from its inception, it has involved community leaders from across the community, and it is based upon the vast amounts of input that was provided by a large group of people. And so we feel very secure that this momentum does truly represent what the community as a whole wants to see going forward. Mm-hmm. And we feel proud of the fact that every point on the compass is represented, and we believe will benefit as we succeed. So.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning too that there was a significant amount of community input that went into writing the strategy. Mm-hmm. Right? This is not a strategy that was written in a small boardroom by any means. Mm-hmm. This was so back in August of 2016. Many of you probably took an online survey. It was a very long online survey. You'll probably remember it if you took it. It was kind of painful. But it gathered a lot of information about what people wanted to see in Topeka and Shawnee County. Mm-hmm. And it was that input that really sort of formed the core of the strategy. Mm-hmm. So it very much was written by the community and reflective of community interests.
So what do we want to see in 2022? Where do we want to be from here to there?
Yeah. So really what we want to see in 2022 is a more livable community, right? We want to see fewer people choosing to live in Lawrence and communicate and commute to Topeka. We want to see a Topeka where the residents of Topeka are proud of Topeka. That's a huge initiative within Momentum 2022 is promoting a positive image and promoting positive messaging about our community.
We want to see an even greater alignment between the educational opportunities and resources that are here and the workplace opportunities that exist, so that if you grow up in Topeka and you work hard, there's a good possibility you'll be able to start your career here too. One of the things we feel honored to be a part of is what's called Washburn Tech East. It was initially called the East Topeka Learning Center. It's an institution that will provide certain types of technical certifications to anybody who wants to go there, but it is located over in East Topeka, in Highland Park kind of area, and we think it is perfectly situated to serve folks who previously needed to, find a way to get over to Washburn Tech on the other side of town. So that's another way that success on this plan will, benefit the entire community.
I mean, I'm lifelong Topeka, and I think if you go back 20, 30 years, I mean, I'm only 21 myself, but if you go back that far, the mentality of folks today, they're seeing a lot of really positive things happen. Like there are things, their mindset has evolved, and that's because they have seen the road of people hitting the streets, doing the work, and it's happening. We're actually seeing it. And I opened up, just to talk about the downtown part of it, I opened up in downtown in 2002. Everybody thought I was a fool for doing so, and that's where we are today. It's some of the most valuable property in town because we know that in order to speak to that younger, mobile professional, that the idea of the American dream has evolved. It's not just a Topeka thing, it's really the entire country. And that means that people aren't looking for the white picket fences as much as they are as looking for something that's flexible for a younger person. They may not need to have a car, they can use public transportation, they can live in an area, they can work in that area, they can play in that area, and then they can afford to go out and do other things. That's what makes Topeka a great place, and the love of the people here. That's why people make this place their home, right?
Absolutely.
It's been interesting. I'm a native myself, and so I can say bad things about native Topekans and get away with it. We've had a bit of an inferiority complex traditionally, and it's also true that if you talk to people who've transplanted here and continued their careers here, they tend to love the place because maybe they've been in some enormous urban center and they come here and this is a great place to live and try to raise a family. Well, the difference is palpable now that even people who are natives are able to kind of see it, and the vision of what this city can become is becoming more deeply rooted. It's not just a few people buying property on Kansas Avenue.
Exactly.
It's more and more of our friends and colleagues and people we talk to in church who are coming on board with this, and that's what the momentum is.
Absolutely, people coming together. Now, how do folks get involved with this? I mean, get on the bandwagon because we're going places, and how do folks get involved with this and find out more?
Yeah, absolutely. So the strategy, the Momentum 2022 strategy is available online. It's momentum2022.com. And I also encourage people to email me directly because a huge part of my job is collaboration with various organizations in the community. So I can very much help to plug people in to whatever part of Momentum 2022 they might be most interested in.
That's another big thing that I think is really good. It seems like, maybe technology's connected us a little bit more than it had in the past, but the connections that people are making, the locals that are coming together and making things happen, that's another really positive piece that makes it possible for us to get through this plan to have something really special.
Yep,
right?
absolutely.
Well, if I can riff on that a little bit, I mean that is one of the pillars of the strategy is enhanced collaboration. And there again, there may have been a time at some point 10, 20, 30 years ago, whatever, when most Topekans went to work and had their jobs and lives and thought, well, somebody else somewhere is building our community. Somebody is leading this thing forward. I may or may not know him. I think that's changed too. I think more and more day-to-day Topekans, just like you and me and Kayla and the people here, are owning up to their role in creating the future that we want and collaborating to make it happen. That's some of the most exciting activity that we've seen that goes beyond, architectural additions to the city, which is great to see, but the people's spirit is what I've noticed.
They have been, they're being lifted. Good things are happening.
Yeah.
So, and I thank you for all the hard work that you guys put in. It's not easy to get us all on the same page, but I think you're doing a great job of it. And thank you to all the people who've been involved with the process, because it takes a village, right?
It does.
Just like you, Chris.
Yeah,
It's all
that's
about
what we do.
collaboration.
We all do. Thank you. So get involved. Check it out. Momentum2022.org. That's org?
.com. Momentum2022.com.
TopekaChamber.org
Yes.
is where you can find
Yes.
more about the Greater Topeka Partnership. Lots of great things are going on, and you can learn all about them there. Of course, like GT Partnership on Facebook. And of course, thank our sponsor, the Topeka Performing Arts Center, for making this segment special and possible to bring to you in your, whether you're watching us on your smart device. I don't know if they're smart all the time or not, but or you're watching us on TV or wherever you're watching us, Topeka Performing Arts Center has brought it to you. The Topeka Performing Arts Center brings locals together to make great events and lifetime experiences. Thank you so much. That's Kayla and Curtis with Momentum 22 and the Greater Topeka Partnership.